An innumerable mass of small and massive rocks, natural formations beautifully crafted, surrounded by grassy plains. A scenic heap of massive boulders climbing up to a height of about 5,829 meters above sea level. It is not just a landmark, but a heritage. It tells the story of a tribe and their survival, a refuge during times of war, and a relief for hunger and thirst. Till date, the hills and the land surrounding it has enough to give to its environs. A soil so rich, water so pure, a land so fertile, a source of life and well-being. The third highest point in Nigeria, located in Jos, Plateau State. This is Shere Hills. And amongst the hills stands the most majestic of them all, the twin peaks known as Gog and Magog. This time of the year, just after the summer solstice, it is normal to experience shorter nights and longer days. This means the sun comes out earlier than usual. The residents are already up and about, performing different tasks, and one in particular stands out.
Gawayi ne muke yin shi mun fara da itace mun kawo itace muka hada itace muka hada wuta a ciki muka rufe da kasa to bayan kwana biyu shine yazo ya zama haka yazo ya ga ya nuna kenan shine yazo ya zama gawayi kenan shine maso mu cire gawayin shi yake amfani da shi a dafa abinci in ba kalanzir in ba wani abu ana using wannan sosai a dahuwa to gawayi kenan ai babu ya mu dafa abinci da wannan duka bai za mu sa buhu mu sayar maybe sauran sai mu yi amfani da shi Shere Hills wurin da Allah ya ajiye mu ne so ya zama kaman garin mu so ya zama abinda Allah ya yi ne mutane da yawa suna zuwa su zo su shakata wajen a dutsen Shere Hills yana da kyau sosai to kuma muna jin daɗin mutane da suna zuwa suna yin abubuwa kamar da kuma kun zo kuma mun ji daɗi mun gan ku kun zo kuna shooting min garin mu muna doka hoton kuma muna jin daɗin.
Aware Magaji was born in this village, and he believes that this is the place where God placed them. What he loves most about it is when visitors come to experience the hills. This is the Chiroma of the Afizire or Jarawa people of Jos. It is a title given to the chief of the Afizire tribe. He is like a history book because of stories passed down through generations to him.
God directed that this should be, and everything came to being. Therefore, they came into being for a purpose. They came into being because they are going to serve humanity, which is the center of creation. And so the rocks are very, very important.
As a custodian of the people's culture and history, he is a griot of some sort. The Afizire tribe believes that everything came into being for a purpose, which is to serve humanity. They see these hills as the center of creation and the cradle of life. In the distance, we can see the beautiful twin peaks, Gog and Magog. As we journey into the hills, there are several plants here and there. They may not look like much, but almost all of them are significant.
These are the ones Sometimes you either heat it or chew it. It becomes very soft. You now twist it like thread. Then you develop your sling with it. No matter where you throw, no matter how strong, no matter the distance, it doesn't affect the sling.
This naturally formed cave was used as an isolation center for someone with a contagious disease. Only those who suffered the same disease and recovered from it could serve as caretakers for the infected. Soot, grinding stones, and pieces of clay serve as evidence for what once occurred here.
But in that time, once you are here, you are asked to go and see the priest to qualify you to go back and join the people. If it doesn't satisfy it, just like a doctor, satisfying that somebody is healthy enough to do and undo. Otherwise, you can't just mix up with people. It's against their own tradition. And these things are very, very rich in history, those historians, very rich.
These graves were used to bury the elderly. In the past, it was extremely rare for a young person to die.
And if time permits, they remove the bones, drop it in a cave, fix in another person. So you don't have graves littering all around everywhere. It is
So after a while,
if of a relation anyway, of a relation. But like this one, once man grave, it was very rare to hear that somebody is dead. Then, unlike now, dead left, right, and center everywhere. No. Then it was very, very rare to hear that somebody is dead. It must either be an old man or a very old woman.
The bones were placed in a cave within the hills, where the person would be reincarnated. It was known as Adakunu, meaning window of heaven. Coming to the hills is never complete without getting to the summit of Gog and Magog, which is definitely an arduous and scary journey. Not everyone can make it due to the rough surfaces, claustrophobic cracks, and dark, hollow, unending spaces. However, it isn't just brawn, endurance, and patience that gets one to the top, but a carefree spirit. This dance is the traditional dance of the Afizire tribe. They are performed all over the country and represent the state during cultural festivals. The Gog and Magog Hills is the first point that the Afizire people gather before proceeding to the National Museum during the cultural festival.
na gado ne, gadon Afizire, wanda mun gaje a hannun iyayenmu. Yanda na koya wannan rawan tun ina karamin yaro, iyayenmu suna yi, muna gani yanda suke yi, muna bin su, inda suna yi muna bin su yanda suke yi, suna rawan muna koya yanda su ma suna yi. Daga wurin haka nan sai mu muna fara doka, muna dan taba kamar wasa. Shine Allah ya zo sa mu ma mun gaji hannunsu har na iya na zama professional yanzu. Wannan dutsen Magog din nan sun ba wurin mataban da ake ba da shi da aka tashi daga nan aka shiga museum. Wannan da na kama busa kenan, shi muke hura. A yare muna kira a sharawa. Sai wannan gogo ne, wannan duk kayan da zai gyara mana kyan jiki, ado kenan. Haka nan kaca-kaca shine idan muna rawa yana kara sound na step din. To wannan takalman ma dama ba mu son shi. Yanda tsofaffin sun samu muna yin shi da ba takalma. Amma da muka zo mun gan abubuwan sun canja. Ya zama na yayi shine mu muka sa wannan, amma da tsofaffin ba su sa. Mun kara ado kenan akan rawan. Sai akwai ganga wanda ake buga, ana kiran shi drum kenan. Babban akwai karami, sai akwai kalangu. To dukan suna kowa yana da wajen sa, bara ta ba iya a yi ba wancan ba. na ba karmin ana kiran shi shirmi ba da ya yi shi ba. Flute ne ana kiran shi ne ake kiran shi a sharwa. Amma dansa ana kira yan rawa feneto da yare kenan. Amma flute ne ake kiran shi a sharwa. So sai aka hada da dansa din kenan shi na zama a sharwa dansa.
Dressed in shorts, trousers, and slippers, they make their way through insurmountable rocky extensions, crawling through cracks and walking confidently through dark spaces. This seems as easy as taking a walk. Of course, this is their terrain, so why not? After several minutes of navigation with no end in sight, we burst out into dizzying sunlight. And what a sight it is. Climbing the mountain to the Afizire people depicts the journey of life, the obstacles we face, and how we overcome them through endurance, patience, and resilience. Each trail has its own wonderful wildlife, plant life, and heritage. As long as the hills exist, so will the Afizire tribe. There is a popular saying by the Afizire people. A man without a culture is a man without roots. You cannot take the hills from the people, nor the people from the hills.